Good afternoon, all. So I'm Rajesh I'm the managing director of BESCOM. So BESCOM is the nodal agency for the whole of Karnataka, for all other ESCOMs also. We are trying to see that the public charging infrastructure comes up in a big way. We are trying to tell the stakeholders, people who want to get into public charging infrastructure, also that it's a completely delicensed activity that the market is deciding. So no way that somebody has to come to BESCOM saying that I will have EV charging infrastructure. If he has a piece of real estate, if he cares for this planet, if he feels that green energy is something which matters, then he can anybody can start this business. That is first thing. The second thing is that our regulator has allowed the tariff at ₹5, which is a decent price. Still we can ask the regulator to bring it down so that if market can really respond to it. And as Mr. Tongia has asked me to speculate, see, the whole question is if really EV having a EV vehicle and running that would have been very interesting for the consumer, they would have gone in a big way. I don't think they have really, if you look at the cost of vehicles, they are on the very high side. If you look at the cost of a bus, EV bus will be around not less than 1.5 crores, maybe around. So, and replacing the battery after some time. So unless and until what I feel, the cost of battery and the life of battery, the way now solar panels came down from 2014 down onwards, and something happens in the next 2 years. So should BESCOM or any other DISCOM or the whole state or the country is geared for such a type of opportunity where suddenly we need public charging infrastructure to be available everywhere. As on date, as you said, people are still not now going for the EV vehicle. Still they are preferring the fossil fuel vehicle. So two things what BESCOM is doing as of now, because the cost of real estate in Bangalore or any other place may be quite high in the district headquarters. We are trying to leverage that by saying that this place will be allowed in government departments, like many departments will be there. We have written to all the district magistrates of all the districts saying that you will have agriculture department, horticulture, or any other department, any other. If you can allocate some place so that we can fix the cost to serve, like maybe 750 paisa or 8 rupees, so that will work. But as far as the circular, you should buy, Ministry of Power, I think, or so where it says that in other cases where people will have their own real estate, then the cost to serve is not limited by us. So that's a mark. They can charge anything based on the cost that is there. The other issues we are also trying to leverage with Mr. Maini when he asked us that this swapping also, we will also allow them in these places where we are trying to provide, places of government places in Bangalore, particularly where real estate is quite high. Here also we are trying to provide them in both the places. We have signed MOUs with NTPC, we have signed with REIL, so where we are selling them wherever government departments, where we have had a lot of meetings where they are coming out saying that we will give you this place. Those places will be given to them for setting up the charging stations and then man it and provide this infrastructure. As of now, we have set up around 130 charging stations on our own. BESCOM has done it. So in these places also we'll allow for swapping. Vendors who want to come and do the swapping. So one more big speculation which I was just discussing now during lunchtime was that all of you, I would have seen Bangalore, the Bangalore-Mysore highway, which is about 150 to 200 kilometers, there's a big road being done, about 8 lane or 10 lane. I saw in the newspaper that the chief engineer of the National Highway Authority of India has written asking for permission that can one lane, dedicated lane, be completely for e-highway. That BESCOM will or DISCOMs will provide the way electric trains are run, the pantograph, and buses and trucks will move with certain speed, maybe 60-80 kilometers, without having any battery or anything. That just they will hook on and then they run it, because the cost of this bus will be maybe 20-30 lakhs compared to a battery e-vehicle, which will be more than 1.5 crores. With the falling price of when I saw the SECI bids coming at 2 rupees 50 paisa. So if that type of solar power can be used, that type of energy can be channelized, the cost will be much lower to run compared to the fossil fuel. The cost of the investment on the bus will be much lower, and it will be decarbonized energy which will be used in this sector. So can that be tried in other sectors like this Delhi Agra Jamuna highway? So can we have something of that where the issue of the battery disposal issue is still there. The cost of battery and the life of battery is still, the technology is not responsive for the consumer. So this speculation can really change the. Still, it can be a hype, or it can be a small battery, go off the grid from the pantograph, go to the Daba, come back and then start moving. These things can also be speculated. So this is what I can offer from my BESCOM. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So it's remarkable to see the progress, but like you said, the demand isn't quite there yet. It's going to come, so we have to plan now. I'm going to ask a follow-up question, if it's all right, because I believe you may need to leave earlier, but I'll just come to that in 1 second. I think it's also very interesting to tie with OP's point. The use cases are so different across. So the Mysore-Bangalore highway, as per newspapers, gets 1 bus every minute. It is so popular with private buses as well, not just the official. So if that is the duty cycle, then a pantograph sort of solution actually may make much more sense than just saying you have to go lithium, because ring road is also so equally heavily used by buses. So we have to think more innovatively than just saying it's one model that it has to be. Also recently. Yeah. By the time they turn it on.
Hello. Yeah. Recently, the Bangalore all activists, the citizen groups have come forward to have this dedicated bus corridor along the ring road. That it is totally cordoned off and all the buses will move along the, just corridor. As you said, this is also a minute-to-minute bus which is moving not at great speed. Can this also be converted using a pantograph where directly, DISCOM can provide electricity directly? That's also
with
one
guaranteed supply. With guaranteed supply.
This one speculation was likely very interesting for me.
So, just one follow-up question, because end of the day, it's the business models intersecting with regulatory models. How we price it, whether it's the incoming Bijli or the end. Now, the traditional grid, and one reason why I said it's not correct to treat EV just like cooking, is almost all infrastructure has a certain utilization factor, capacity utilization factor of the consumer, which leads to diversity factor from a utility perspective. You build infra, this many kW allows this many users. But EVs are very different. When you plug in, it's going to run, depending on the rates and the volume, for many hours. And so if the utilization of your normal assets are measured in a few %, dedicated charging, not the public which is low, but dedicated charging can have much higher utilization rates, which is a good thing for the economics. But your DISCOM pricing models are all based on an average seen across the DISCOM. So I think there needs to be more analysis to the regulator eventually that says for EVs, the back-end infrastructure cost, whether it's the DT or the feeders, need a separate pricing regime, because it's not going to look the same. And it will be higher, and we need to be sure that other people's bills are not factoring that in, would be one suggestion. Has that been sort of seen or thought a little bit?
Yeah, this we understand, because if you look at some cities like Bombay and Delhi, where already they have created redundancy in the system. Like over a period of time, they have collected normative charges across the board, which we don't do here. Our redundancy is little low, and then probably we will try to charge each of the consumer when they ask for a new connection. Like as you said, the transformer or many other things that he is going to build for himself. But initially, because this appears to be, very interesting, many of the stakeholders have come forward. Like say IOCL, one of the EV swapping station person was saying that IOCL has come forward telling that they can use theirs, already existing system. Already where a connection is there, where a transformer is there, maybe some load is also available where they can use it. So we are also trying to, initially, wherever the connections are there, particularly, in government places where already, the connection is there. So initially we can do that. In course of time, when we are talking of by 2030, where 100% EV vehicles will be there, then that type of public charging infrastructure will definitely, in a place like BESCOM, where redundancy is not there, the cost has to be borne, and probably that cost will be transferred to the consumer, and then as the cost to serve may go up. See, finally at the end of the day, even if the cost to serve goes up, the whole question revolves around what is the battery cost and what is the life of the battery, because over a period of time they'll phase it out for 5 years, 6 years. If they are supposed to use the same fossil fuel vehicle, it can be replaced by the batteries have to be replaced after some time. So if the cost is going to work out and the cost that they're going to pay as part of the tariff will match, then probably these EV vehicles will be, as we say, 20, 30, 100%, that would be, achieved. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.